Hello, my dear beloveds. Welcome. This is a very special topic. It's about the sacred city, and I am very happy there is talk of the sacred city. I have seen channelings of people discussing such topics as New Jerusalem and New Atlantis. Now, since we're talking about Atlantis, not New Atlantis, I want to remind people of Atlantis at this point because New Atlantis will be a mirror of original Atlantis. Atlantis was in circles, was built in circles, and there were circles of land and circles of water. Those of you who have memories from lives lived in Atlantis, or even those of you who do not have those memories, or like you haven't remembered yet, but read about them. I read about the times of Atlantis. I think you know about the importance of water for the Atlantean people. They used water in a very beautiful way, that of storing memory. It's like a library, and they would just go in the water and meditate and basically impregnate the water with their knowledge, so that that knowledge would be accessible to anyone bathing in that water afterwards and meditating. And this is so beautiful. Now, talking about the current era, we are meant to build a new sacred city. When I say we, I mean we, the chosen ones. It's even in the Bible, the book of Revelations, I don't really see much truth in the Bible like the rest of the Bible, and especially the Old Testament that's filled with a lot of manipulation. And the New Testament is filled with manipulation. But the book of Revelations, well, it's about our times. We are living in those times, and the fact that I am incarnate now amongst you is the very proof of it, that everything in the book of Revelations is for real. So, the 144,000. We are meant to build this city together. And yes, we will be the ones to reintroduce this to humanity. But this knowledge which I am offering right now is not just for the 144,000, it's for all humans daring to abandon the system and go build their own communities, which is what I advise you to do. Leave the system barren. If you leave the system barren, the system will have no power anymore. Okay. The wisdom of a community is basically the wisdom of everything which is of the human reality, which is literally the wisdom of the zodiac. Everywhere you go incarnate, the map of the skies will be reflected in the reality of the realm of existence you're incarnate into. And this is one of the oldest teachings, as above, so below. Hermetic teachings. So, woo. Yes, I paint this. This is the wisdom of the zodiac. So every community is meant to be built around the structure of the zodiac. And it's not just the community. The wisdom of the zodiac is basically about the trajectory of human lives, of a cycle of incarnations onto human reality, starting with Aries. If someone has Aries at their ascendant, it means they are at the beginning of a new cycle of incarnations. And if they have Pisces at their ascendant, it means they are at the end of a cycle of incarnations. And literally, this is what it is, the zodiac. But this doesn't mean that you will have only 12 lives in a cycle of incarnations. It depends. You can choose 12, you can choose another number in a cycle of incarnations. It all depends on how exactly will those lives be, how substantial will they be. If they are substantial, you will have less lives in a cycle. If they are not that substantial, not that intense, you will have more lives in a cycle, because it's not about the number of lives, it's about their quality. Quality in terms of what you learn and how much you develop your being. So, in terms of cycles of incarnations, you start with Aries, the baby, and go through all of them. And in the last portion of the zodiac, which begins with Sagittarius, and you have the last 4 signs, these are the mature signs. The zodiac has 3 ages, and those of you, yes, this resembles, what's it called? This resembles an Illuminati sign, I know. But prior to being an Illuminati sign, it was a mudra. But 3 ages of the zodiac. And we have from Aries to Crab, the first age of the zodiac, the most immature signs. From Leo to Scorpio, the mid portion of the zodiac, the second age of the zodiac. These are the, let's say, adults of the zodiac. And from Sagittarius to Pisces, we've got the mature energies of the zodiac. And the old age of the zodiac, the last age of the zodiac. But this was, I talked about more about cycles of incarnations and how the zodiac reflects the wisdom. But in terms of community, it's meant to, the sacred city is, hold on. I have to check how many minutes I have in the video. Okay, the sacred city is meant to be built, yes, in a circle, just like Atlantis was. There is great wisdom to the circle. And by the way, this is also about the way that astrological birth charts are depicted by astrologers. Many astrologers, like, there are more types of depicting a birth chart, and not all of them are circular. There are other ways, but the circular one is the best. Why? Because the circle is the perfect geometric shape. I mean it. So, the sacred city is meant to... and by the way, this is not over. The painting is not done, okay? If you want to analyze it, no, it's not done. It's not finished. The sacred city is supposed to be built in a circle. And in the midpoint of it, there is the temple, the sacred temple. By the way, when a group of humans decide to build a community, the wisest way of doing that is to just meditate, choose look at some area of land where you would want to build that community, but at first, prior to building anything there, commune with Gaia, ask her, let her guide you. If you are psychic and able to do that yourselves. If not, it's best that you bring in people who are able to do that. So that if Gaia wants you to move a little bit more towards left, a little bit more towards right, you know, and I mean it. I mean, this is serious. Gaia knows she's a living being. So it's best to commune with her when you want to do this, because she's got wisdom that a human being doesn't have. So maybe, let's say you want to put the center of the city in a certain point, but maybe the development of that city throughout future generations will be in such a manner that it's best for the center of that city to be, I don't know, a little bit more towards the left or something like that. Towards south or north or whatever. Whatever your left is. But in any case, once you decide, once you know the center, you start with the center. And in the center, you have the temple. And for those of you who don't have the material resources to build huge, majestic temples, don't worry, I don't only mean that. Obviously, this would be the best. Everyone loves it, duh. But at the beginning, it's understandable that the temple will not be that huge. It may become in the future of that city after some generations. But at first, it could even just be a tent. Yes. So no matter how you want to do it, the center is a temple. And the very central point of that temple is an open space, an empty space, dedicated to nothing, the nothingness, the emptiness of existence. The emptiness within which the everything exists. And then, around that circle, that sacred circle, there are totems for each of the 12 zodiac signs. And for the planets governing them. And in that temple, there will be sacred rituals at each important astrological event. Because in the new age of humanity, when humanity is more enlightened, the holidays, the holy days, will be the days when important celestial configurations happen, which are meant to be celebrated. Like, remember the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius? A lot of people received their awakening by that conjunction. Remember the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces? A lot of spiritual development and so many other important events. Celebrations happen in a spiritual manner, and any spiritual rituals of the elders of the city and the magicians of the city will happen in the temple. Now, don't get me wrong, the temple is not meant to be accessed only by the priests. Yes, regardless of whatever name you want to use for your initiated people of the community, whether it's priests and priestesses, shamans, magicians, whatever name, the temple is not just for them. Obviously, they will be the ones maintaining it, but the temple is for everyone, for the whole community. And it's the pillar of that community, the central point of that community. Now, each of the 12 zodiac signs, as I said, will have a totem and a gate. And what I mean by a gate? In the beginning of the community, when, as I said, the community won't be that super rich, it's enough for the temple to be just a tent. But there will be an open space in the middle, and if you want to really make it open, like with no roof above it or with a roof above it, that's up to you. Best option would be to have something that is kind of like a detachable roof, so you can actually see the skies from within that circle at certain points when you can do that, when it's not raining. So that when it's raining, you can put back a roof so that it doesn't alter the... But you could even, like, if it's too much work, you could let it an open roof and just have rain come in there. It's a wonderful spectacle. But the entrance to the temple, what will be the entrance? Well, each of the 12 zodiac signs gates. Because as I said, each zodiac sign will have a gate. So imagine the temple, okay, the circular inner structure. And then totems for each zodiac signs, and it's like an extension for each zodiac sign, like a room for each zodiac sign, which is not separate in itself from the circle within, but it's like an inner room for each zodiac sign going a little bit within itself. Meaning none of the zodiac signs will be separated from the circle, but they may be separated from one another in terms of how you build the walls of their rooms. But they will have doors to the outsides, gates, and they will be known as the gate of Aries, the gate of Taurus, and so on, and those will be the gates of the temple, and they will extend themselves to the entrances of the city. And this is why it's important for the city to be circular, because the more the city extends, the more people the city has, the more it can extend in a beautiful way, because it will have another circle around it, and another circle, and another circle. It will not extend itself in a chaotic way. So, the entrance to the city, there will not be just one entrance, there will be more, and there will be the gate of Aries, gate of Taurus, gate of Gemini, and so on. And isn't this so beautiful? I fucking love this. And obviously there will be 4 of these entrances will be aligned with the cardinal points, and in terms of zodiac signs, those will be the cardinal zodiac signs. So Aries, the gate of Aries, will be aligned with the eastern point, because the Aries sign is associated with the spring equinox, which is at the eastern horizon. And there you go. Aries is in the east, Libra is in the west, and then you have north and south for the other 2 cardinal signs, which are Capricorn and Cancer. Okay, so there will be gates for each zodiac sign. And as I said, let's say the city develops to a certain extent, and then 3 generations afterwards, there will be more people in the city, and the city will need to be bigger. Then another circle of the city will be built around the initial circle. And it's not a must that you what's the term? That you take the gate from here and put it here where the city will have its limit now. You can leave this gate and just make another one in the new circle. And the more the city expands, just imagine like a city with 6 circles. There will be 6 gates for each zodiac signs. Imagine how many processions there can be, how many spiritual rituals there can be going through those 6 gates of each sign. Imagine at the moment of the spring equinox, going through the gates. It's very beautiful. It's something fantastic. I love this, and I wish unto all those who will come incarnate to experience this. And not just those who will come incarnate from now on, but those of us who are alive right now to be the builders of this marvel. I love you. Okay. Now there will be districts. The city will look like a chart, like a birth chart. This is why we need very smart builders. This is where the divine masculines will go crazy and do all of that. So it will be a circle with districts, and there will be the district of Aries, district of Taurus, district of Gemini, district of the Crab, and so on. Now, who will rule the city? The city will not be ruled. The city will be led. There will not be rulers. There will be leaders of the community. And where are the leaders seen? Well, in the upper portion of each zodiac. The upper portion of the zodiac is Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Uranus. I'm not counting Pisces because, yes, a portion of Pisces may be involved in this, but just a small bit of it, because Pisces is the energy of transcending the physical. But in itself is this upper portion. And you will have the priests with Scorpio and Pluto. Currently, there are dark priests, dark magicians, aiding the dark elites in their quest of implementing world dominion. But this isn't the case for everything that Pluto governs. Pluto also gives white priests and priestesses, initiates of the light of the white magic. Pluto and Scorpio govern sorcery. And there will be the priests, the priestesses coming from Pluto Scorpio energy. There will be the gurus, the teachers of the city, coming from Jupiter Sagittarius energy. There will be the astrologers. Nothing in the age of Aquarius will be done without astrologers. Nothing. If you want to build a community, you need astrologers. Most of all. So astrologers coming together with the people who are good at centralizing stuff, so that they can build a healthy structure for the community. Capricorn governs structures. And Capricorn is not the fallen energy of Capricorn is that of ruling, yes, of authority and putting rules and regulations, norms and all of that. Fuck it. The sacred city doesn't have rulers. It has leaders. Leaders who come from Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Aquarius energies, and Pisces as well. But they come together in the Capricorn district, where the structure of the city is taken care of. Capricorn governs the bones in a human body. Similarly, the Capricorn district will govern the bones of the city. There you go, the structure of the city. Okay, 24 minutes of a video. There's a lot more to this. I'll think I'll have 2 videos about this. But I will have more videos about this in following years as well. I know this. This is like the starter pack for this. Okay, so this would be the starter pack. What kind of people do you need in the community so that the community can function? And Therefore, what would each district be about? We have Aries. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't necessarily mean that the people who find themselves, let's say, those of you who are very much in the Aries vibes of warriors, of defenders, of heroes, of the ones who fight, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will live in the Aries community. Your place of living, your district of the space you live in, the place you live in, is given by the fourth house of your zodiac. So, and also the ruler, the lord of the fourth house. This is why you need astrologers, because astrologers will know where to guide you. Let's say you are an Aries rising, this means that your fourth house is crab. But let's say the moon, ruler of the crab, is in your seventh house, which is the area of Libra. You get what I mean? It's a lot more complicated than just saying, oh, I'm an Aries, so I will live in the Aries district. It's you have to really look in depth at those things. But in itself, the Aries district is the district of the fighters, the defenders of the community, the guardians, the ones who will fight for the community. Also the ones who are interested in sports and will keep the community healthy by physical activities. This is majorly the district of Aries. Sports, physical movement, physical activities, and the area of the guardians of the city. And I don't want to use terms such as police, because those would be terms of the... No. Just the guardians of the city. The ones who are the fighters. The ones able to fight for the community. Okay. Now in the Taurus district, the agriculture will happen. This will be the area of the farmers. And things such as taking care of money, but the money district will be half in Taurus, half in Gemini. Because Gemini also governs trade. Gemini and Mercury govern trade. So Taurus governs money and possessions, but Gemini governs trade. So the circulation of money and possessions. So this is why the money district, the economy of the city, will be structured in the Taurus Gemini portion, like in both of them. And since I'm talking about things happening in like half in a sign, half in the next sign, the thing is that the streets of the city, there will be a certain kind of streets. There will be two types of streets. One of them is like the lines between the signs. So we will have these lines, which are with black here in my depiction, will be like streets. And then again, there will be streets. There will be streets within the districts themselves, because remember, as I said, each zodiac sign will have its gate starting from the temple. So here in the chamber of Aries, in the sacred temple, the entrance of that room will be the gate of Aries, and the gate of Aries will give the street of Aries, which goes right in the midpoint of the Aries district. Again, this is the beauty, the wisdom of a circular structure. So as I said, with every new circle of the city, the gate is still there in the midpoint of the Aries district. So these are the main streets. Obviously, there will be more smaller streets in the city, and this is up to the architects of the city. The more the city evolves, the more it will look a lot more evolved, obviously, with a lot more groups of people. And the architects will have to take care of this, but the architects will do nothing, I mean it, nothing, without the guidance of the astrologers. Because the sacred city must be a map of the wisdom of the skies, a map of the wisdom of the zodiac. Okay, I'll leave the video, this part of the video, within 30 minutes, and then and see you in the second part of this teaching.